Hey, boys and girls, weather report for April 1st, 2021. April Fool's Day. And I'm 14 years sober today. And I'm 25,653 days old.
And that ain't no joke.
I'm still coughing from the vax, so we'll have to mute occasionally.
Maybe you were allergic to somebody who was there.
I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's definitely a cough, but it's better today than it was yesterday. So I'm 3 days out from the second shot, but cough is not supposed to be a common symptom. So it was worrisome anyway. So we had a wonderful hangout with Bruce Damer last night, and that was pretty cool. I really appreciated asking him about James Tour.
Oh yeah, he really likes information there.
He really likes James Tour.
It was really good to, we read his paper. I've read Deemer's book and other articles and things about that theory, but to kind of get from his point of view the things that he found incredible or exciting, and I could tell that he just visibly enjoyed talking about the topic. So it was a really good discussion.
Yeah, that's what I've had some family members that watched it too, and they appreciated his passion for the subject and thought it was pretty cool. So that's amazing. My cam is broken again. We'll fix that. So let's see. Logical, probable, and plausible. Prostatable is having a premiere now of his MDD debate, I think. And that's about all that's going on, other than what the hell? No, that ain't right. Wow, this is weird. This is really weird. So camera's not working at all.
So did you cross your eyes?
Huh?
Did you cross your eyes or something?
Just now?
Yeah, is that why you're blurred?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm not entirely sure. That's actually.
Boy, he's just not getting anything today.
That's actually what's
funny. I'm just saying you should have known I was making a joke.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get it now. It's a vaccine, dude. It's a vaccine.
Yeah.
So
I pretty much always make bad jokes. So
I'm actually on my Logitech Logitech camera, but it's showing my laptop camera. And what you're looking at, there's a piece of surgical tape that I have over my laptop camera. I always do that on laptops because I don't fucking like the idea of a camera that anybody can turn on.
Right? Yeah, I did the same thing. My camera is covered by paper, a piece of paper right now. So,
well, it's just fucking weird. It won't switch to my Logitech camera.
Maybe Logitech's not as great a brand as people make it out to be. I mean, they can't be good at everything. Logitech, they do other things, right?
Well, the camera's working fine because I can see myself on FaceTime, but StreamYard is not allowing me to switch cameras. I know why, because I have 2 StreamYard tabs open. Is that why?
There you go. Don't confuse StreamYard, man.
Let me go try the other one.
They'll make you pay for it.
We'll see if this one works. HD Pro. There you go. What the hell? Start cam. Nope. Same goddamn thing. Weird. Oh, well. I guess we won't worry about that. So what's happening today, guys? Anything else? Nothing.
It's April Fool's Day, and I converted back to Christianity.
Ooh, awesome. Why do you believe in Jesus now?
Because God has revealed to me.
I'll play that Dapper Dino thing from this morning.
That he exists.
did he reveal himself in the way that perverts reveal themselves oftentimes at grocery stores? Or
I think he was a little bit respectful because he had a trench coat on.
okay, well, there you go. You didn't open it up or anything. I don't know, but you
I
could tell he was
just-
naked, right?
Just a little peep.
Okay, yeah, just to get your attention. Yep. Yeah, Jesus revealed himself to me once too, but I punched him, and he went away, which is fair, I understand, but I don't know. So what else is going on? So last night, okay, so Standing for Truth. Oh yeah, let's do this. Why don't we do this? Standing for Truth has a community channel, like trying to figure out where it is here.
You
Here
mean
it
like
is.
a community option
For
in,
YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen people use that.
Yeah, we had to do one on what did I want to do one on? Abiogenesis and James Tour. Maybe we could do or no, I wanted to do one on front loaded. What does he call it? Front loaded created heterozygosity. What does he call it? Front loaded something. Not sure what it is. Front loaded variation or whatever.
I don't know what he means. He's just making up words.
Yeah, I know.
I hope he washes his hands after every time he pulls things out of his ass to talk about.
I was going to start one on YouTube about that, but this is the kind of shit he's got on his community page. What is wrong with these people?
They're just trying to make people disrespect atheists. Well, no, I'm not even atheists. Evolutionary scientists. So.
Yeah, but I mean, these drawings are just crap for one thing. I don't know where he's getting them from, but and then
I know what they think Dan is dodging because he's given a pretty thorough answer to all of their concepts.
I know. And then he's got this one, which is just a rave reviews for his Independent Origins Handbook, and this Ramon Gayoza Dango commented on Dr. Dan's that little Dr. Dan picture up there, that fight thing. So he's obviously one of his following
Acolytes.
Acolytes. That's just the word that came to mind. I decided not to use it, but then you went ahead and used it.
Yeah, I went ahead and used it. Somebody said it yesterday or the day before.
That's why it was on my radar. So here we go. Dapper Dino Benchwarmer of Team Dodgeball demolished. Yeah. Oh, he just has reviews of his video. Is that what you do here? You put your videos on and people comment on the community page?
Well, normally they comment on the comments on the comment page.
Video. Right.
But then again, some people lock their video comments, so I don't know.
Nothing left but repeated talking points and outright denial of reality. Now, these people are really, really deluded to the point that I don't think I have anything to say about them anymore. I don't know. It's just delusional. What the fuck? I don't know. Delusion.
Propaganda, that's what it is. They're just trying to make people think that their young earth creationist view is scientific when it's not, and then using, unflattering artwork to boost their little egos.
Yeah. So let's see what else is going on.
Hey, do you remember the answer to Jerry Penna's question about what they found in the hot springs?
I don't think he actually answered that. I can't remember, because like in current hospital, he basically said that today is a whole lot different than what was going on back then. So we're probably not going to find a lot of. There was a heavy bombardment, right? So there were a lot of materials in the springs that probably don't exist right now. But if you analyzed it and you looked down, if you could look at very, very dilute solutions, you might find something. So I'm not entirely sure what we would find today.
And the atmosphere was like carbon based, wasn't it?
No,
Carbon dioxide, I mean.
Oh, carbon dioxide, yeah. A lot of nitrogen and methane, and I don't know how much. Probably not. I don't know how much methane was actually in the atmosphere back then, but I don't know.
And like
This
hardly, and there's like hardly any oxygen too. So it took it took an mutation that made the after I guess a long time that the plants or not plants but whatever the proto stuff is converting that carbon dioxide into oxygen, which oxygen just kills stuff. So right.
Yeah, well, it would. It tears stuff down. But Jerry, the point of looking at the hot springs was that they basically put prebiotic chemicals into the hot spring and watched what happened to them. And then, so they did it all in the wild, and then they basically brought the hot stream back into the lab, and they went through all these wet dry cycles and cold hot cycles and watched what formed. So there would have to be some way to concentrate these chemicals. And as far as what's in hot springs today, I think you would end up with there'd be a lot of biochemicals in them because there's so much life, but it would be different, and you couldn't quite use what was in them today. But I don't know what's in them. It would be interesting to see what is in a modern hot spring and, what kind of concentration of chemicals we have. I don't know. But I mean, if it was, if water was being washed into it off of, the hillsides, you definitely had you'd have a lot of life there already. You'd have bacteria and extremophiles and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know if you could start there. I don't know.
And oxygen would mess it up anyway, so you'd have to contain it somehow.
That's why I wish I was younger and I had a laboratory so I could go out and do some of this shit and actually answer some of these questions for myself. Because a lot of these things, I don't know if there's even a paper on what the content of current hot springs are. If somebody must have gone out and done this, right? And all the hot springs are different.
That's why the lab's the best place to test these things out, isn't it?
Yeah, they set up their own hot spring environment. And I don't know, I'd have to read their paper on... I don't think they published that paper yet. That's the problem. So what is the content of hot springs? I don't know. What's in them? What is in a hot spring?
Minerals that come from underground, usually.
Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing what the composition is.
And whatever the gases that probably bubble up from the other things.
One of the things Bruce said that if the life that we had back then popped into our current environment, it would die right away, wouldn't make it, because this is not the same Earth that we had back then, and it wouldn't survive in this current environment. Chemical composition of waters. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
A lot of lead and petroleum byproducts.
Iodine, bromine, manganese, iron, aluminum, calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, lithium, free ammonia, albuminoid ammonia, chlorine, boric acid, phosphoric acid, nitric acid, nitrous acid, sulfuric acid, salicylic acid, carbonic, bicarbonic acid, and nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen sulfide. And those are the solids. There's also barium, strontium, and fluorine. So I mean, quite a mix, but mostly minerals. I don't say anything about biochemicals.
Plus, it's just what we have now after billions of years, of course, too.
But this is hot springs of Arkansas. So, I don't know.
How the crust and stuff was different back then, I'm saying. With different compositions and stuff.
Yeah, the author says that the only organic molecules were his sister.
You okay there, Speed?
Anybody get that?
Is that vaccine getting to you?
Arkansas. Anyway.
You know,
Yeah.
I saw this documentary yesterday or the day before. I can't remember which, but apparently, you know, guys, we've been doing geology all wrong because apparently there's like this hollow core and all sorts of dinosaurs and creatures and stuff live in it. So I guess we've been wrong about magma and iron at the core and things like that.
You just watch Journey to the Center of the Earth movies.
Oh,
Actually, it was a movie about this big lizard and some primate.
big lizard and a primate.
Big lizard.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Kong and Godzilla. Come on, guys. Come on.
Yep, I knew it.
Yeah. Okay.
Work with me here. All right.
Okay.
All right.
We're
No
working.
more funnies for Scott. Gosh.
Yeah.
Go
Oh,
quit your day job.
yeah. I don't know what else is going on that we could discuss today. I don't think anything too much happened yesterday. I know Danny was on Praise's stream again yesterday, but I didn't catch that. Maybe Danny will come in and tell us what he did on Praise's stream yesterday. I know what he did on Praise's stream 2 days ago, and I was kind of surprised. I'm not telling you. Anyway, Danny's probably at work. Can't come in.
Oh no.
What you got there, Scott?
Well, I was going to show a little something here if I can. Let's see. I'm pointing around. Can you see see this?
Yeah,
Is
the
it-
snipping tool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. This is from our friend's Facebook page, and you know what I do with people who post things this long in Facebook?
don't read them.
I defriend them.
Oh, you defriend them.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to see your shit.
Can-
And,
You can
You know-
unfollow.
if you go over to the Chrome tab, you can pull up just that page, right? Oh, that's a snipping tool. What
yeah, I
is it?
just did a snipping tool.
Okay. Okay. So,
Oh,
believing
it's
in
just
God,
preaching. It's just absolute preaching that refers to no scripture.
either
So
choosing
it's
to make-
basically all his bloviation.
what is he bloviating about?
Oh, basically, you see, God exists, and if you decide that you can live on your own without God, blah blah blah. So
Chiral induced spin selectivity. Immutable just brought it up. Come on in,
there's nothing in there
Immutable.
about that. I'm going to stop sharing.
Oh, I was just reading that. Can you send a link to that little page, little snippet?
Yeah, I can send a link.
I don't get notifications from Otangelo. I'm not sure if I'm his friend. Do I know who? Oh, Stephen Gold? Oh, a guy named Gold. No, he's dead. No. What did you argue with again? Oh, a guy named Gold on Praise's stream last night?
Gold, big gold, a big bad gold. I'm sorry.
What was that? Was
Is
that
mic on?
Huh? Yours is.
I better stop that then.
He will be live soon. That is Standing for Truth. Debate. Okay, here we go. Debate at Praise. No, I don't know Gold. I'm not sure who he is.
If everybody remembers the Aladdin cartoon series in the 90s, there was a character called Guauld, I think, or something.
Gold?
Or no, not Guauld, but I Am a Ghoul. That's what it was.
Ah,
It was Batman and Guauld, I think. I got the names crossed.
Theater Mold. Okay, so why is this so fucking blurry? Okay, there's Argatha, there's Danny, there's, I don't know who's here. No, I don't know this Gold guy, and I don't understand why this is so goddamn blurry. But I can't really read it because Praise has he's screen sharing, and you can't really see there's the participants. Graham Gold. No, I've seen him on Praise's stream a couple times, but I don't know him. That would be interesting to listen to, maybe. Depends on. Do you have a timestamp, Danny? Let's see. So
Oh,
totally
it was Stargate. Ooh. Sorry, maybe it was Stargate that we Googled.
Oh, okay.
Oops. I have so many names like that, so couldn't remember. Haven't watched them in a long time or heard it.
Yeah, this is a guy named Graham Gould. So I'm not sure what his story is. I'd have to put my headphones on in order to hear it. But if you had a timestamp about where you started talking to him, that would be interesting to look at. Whatever you argued about. Anyway, I got nothing today. I got nothing.
I have in the private chat something about yesterday's thing. It was
Seeker?
on Seeker. Yep.
What was that? What is Seeker?
That's a channel science based.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Other issues too, but
Can we play it without a copyright strike? That's
a good
just a
clip.
private YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, it's
No, it
YouTube.
looks like it's got high production value. So Danny, you're going to be able to come in and tell us about your discussion with Timothy Stratton.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
I want to get his impression. I did watch more than a few minutes of it. I've watched I think just about to the end. Something got my attention away, and I never got back to it. But
What do you think of it?
well, I thought he was a little weak on his theology
Yeah.
and his biblical justifications for doing apologetics or whatever. But as far as his embrace of Calvinism and sovereignty, I'm not sure. I haven't studied those issues real closely.
He was like an evidentialist. That's somebody who goes with the evidence for Christ from the Bible and writings, right?
I think so, yeah. I hope I'm not embarrassing myself. And Danny goes, no, he's a total presuppositionalist. But I think he is an evidentialist.
Let's see. Okay, let me see if I can pop this up. I think Danny has a timestamp. Okay. Yeah, I got a timestamp. Whoops. I screwed up.
Welcome there, David. How you doing?
Hey,
Good.
David.
How are you guys? I apologize. I don't really have any content today. I searched. I tried to come up with something, but didn't seem to be much going on really. So
Yeah, I apologize because I don't have any content today. I just have nothing. Yesterday was such a good day, I think, with Bruce, that I'm just basking in the glow of, that talk. I thought that was pretty cool.
that was good. Yeah, I really like that.
Yep. My kids even watched that one. And they were actually interested in something I'm doing for a change. Which is always kind of cool. So I'm
Too
going to try
bad
to
we can't get all the creationists to watch it. That would be nice.
if they watch that last part about James Stewart, they're going to be pretty pissed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Can I hear you guys? Nope.
Can you hear me? Why can't you hear me?
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with StreamYard?
Are you about to fall over or something?
No, there's something up with StreamYard, and I can't get anything to fucking work. Okay. Yeah, okay, now it's working. Yeah, I don't know. I can't seem to switch cameras. I can't do anything. Really weird. Okay.
It happens once in a while, I think.
So
Yeah,
Go first.
most of the stuff that was going on yesterday was probably mostly Bible crap,
yeah. Well, we got a Danny part here. Yeah, he is a really nice guy. That guy you interviewed, I thought he was a nice
Yeah,
guy.
he's a nice guy. But yeah, I thought some of his points were a little weak, but
I don't think he was a creationist, was he?
I wouldn't know. I didn't. Did he say anything, Danny, that would make anybody think he was any one kind of creationist over another?
Yeah, I think he was a serious theology student, like a PhD in theology.
No,
And-
it's in apologetics, I think. No, he got his
Oh.
PhD in systematic theology. That's right.
Yeah.
So I misspoke.
Yeah, those guys don't tend to rely on trying to prove that the earth is 6,000 years old to support God. They have other, arguments or whatever. So, hey, Danny. So what did you think of the guy you interviewed?
Oh, I liked him. I mean, it wasn't really to debate. A lot of it was that I wanted to, platform respectable apologists. That way for the Christians that are interested in apologetics, obviously.
Yeah. What's up with your microphone?
Philosophically convincing, but
Whoa, Danny.
it wasn't about that, if that makes any sense.
Danny, stop. You're distorting all
Here, go
the
1 second.
Holy shit.
Where the hell is my? Maybe it's been
I
delivered.
think I can hear you. I think I can hear you all now. Okay, but yeah,
No,
did you hear me?
No, we can't hear you. No. You're echoing and all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah, it's very distorted.
Oh my god. He left. He's coming back. Must not be on his computer. Really bad mic.
See,
better?
Ogata was
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, he's a really nice guy. I just considered him to be a respectable apologist. And so I just wanted to platform him for Christians that were interested in his kind of stuff. It wasn't really meant to be about like my views or what I thought about his arguments or stuff.
Yeah, but what were his arguments? Did he have any? Did he have any arguments, Danny?
Oh,
Well,
we
I'm
talked about
sorry.
free
I'm
will.
sorry, I'm talking to you.
We talked about free will, and did he have? I mean, it was in the context of like God's foreknowledge and how that meshes with freedom, and we just talked about. A lot of it was we talked about like the social aspect of apologetics, like how like Christians shouldn't shy away from philosophy, that sorts of stuff. So a lot of it was just really agreeable things.
Yeah, and he used to be a Calvinist, I think he said.
He's very anti-Calvinist.
Yeah, but he said he used to be before
I don't remember him saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't remember that.
Yeah, he said that in the beginning when he was a pastor teaching. He was teaching student or youth or something, like a youth pastor. And before he actually started studying philosophy, and then he changed everything after he started studying it. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. So anyway, yeah, so not much there. But, so this Stephen Gould. So what did you guys talk about?
I think he was talking about like how there's certain unknowable things about God, and I challenged him on it.
Cool.
But I think it's around 142, 144. But I ended up calling him dishonest, and then like Argatha and this other guy white knighted, and it turned out that I had the right interpretation, and Argatha and the other guy apologized to me.
Really? So he was being dishonest.
It's hard to tell, but given my mental states at the time where I accused him, I had good reason to think so. Maybe a little on, he just seemed very confused.
Okay. So what was his argument that God is unknowable? I kind of agree that Christians should consider God unknowable.
Well,
why would that?
Why? Well, there's like so I'll give you my argument because it is a little confusing, but if you're going to say that there's two categories of propositions, like knowable propositions about God and unknowable propositions, to distinguish the categories, you're going to have to give some distinguishing property between the two classes of propositions, and I asked for it. Otherwise, you're just asserting that there might be unknowable propositions and you have no justification.
Okay, but if I said there are unknowable propositions about physics in the universe, why would I have to tell you what category they were in? But
Well, presumably there's the categories of propositions concerning physics that you can know about, and then the propositions of physics that you can't know about, right? Those are the two categories.
okay. So things you can't know about would be things like before. I don't want to use the word outside of the Big Bang. Things outside of the current universe. Those are things that we can't know about. Well, we may be able to figure them out with math, but we really can't test them or know about them in any way because they're just too outside of our ability to reason about them, right? So
Well, yeah.
would that be a category?
Well,
Things that
I think that begs the question if you're saying we just don't have the ability to.
Why does that beg the question?
Because that's the whole question, is whether we have the ability to.
Okay. Yeah, well, that would be the classification, that there are things that we do not have the ability to reason about. Why is that not?
Yeah, but that's not justified.
Why is that not justified?
Well, because the reason that you gave was something like because we're not able.
Why is that a problem? I mean, there's a lot of things we're
It's called
unable
circular
to.
reasoning.
Okay, it's circular, but I don't think it's
You
circular.
accept, okay. Well, there's that. But you understand, if one is given a circular argument, I don't accept question begging arguments.
Okay, but I don't see how it's circular. There are things that we can't reason about.
Okay, so what's the argument?
They are things that are outside of space, time, and any geometry that we're familiar with, not in our knowledge set. We only understand things in terms of space and time. That's how we reason. So if there are things outside of space, time, or like that space, time is contained in, then we can't reason about them.
Okay, why is that? That's just it seems like that's just another claim.
Because we have no capacity to reason
That begs the
outside
question.
of space time. Okay, so I guess we'd have to figure out what reason is, right? So if you're going to reason about something, you're thinking, what you're doing is you're comparing things to what we know now, to things, that we know how they work, right? Like I can explain something in terms of riding a bike or a car or a machine. I could use analogies. I could talk to you about tools, my hands, what I can do. I could compare things to moments in time. But if there is physics outside of space time, how do we reason about that?
Well, probably abstractly.
Okay, with mathematics, we could possibly reason about it.
Sure.
But okay, if there was a God outside of the universe, and he was some sort of a being that actually created everything that we are. So we're a circle inside of that God being, right? And
Okay,
God,
let's stop there. I think that in the end, we're going to agree. You and I agree. We might agree that all of our observations are consistent with there being a God and there not being a God. So there can't be a justification in terms of what we observe and measure for God, because that observation or measurement is consistent with the not God hypothesis, right? So you and I agree on that. But he's making the claim that there are things that we can know about God, and there are things that we cannot know about God. And so that means that there's a principal distinction between the sorts of justifications that are for knowing God and the sorts of propositions in which we couldn't have justification for. I don't think, and the ironic thing is that you're going to have to know something that you're going to have to know a proposition that's unknowable to know what property it bears such that it's unknowable.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Not entirely, no.
It's like if I said that we can't know about aliens, but in asserting that we can't know about aliens, you know something about an alien to know that we can't know anything about them.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah. But I see what you're reaching for there, but I think another way to look at it is that there are things we can know, comprehend, and understand, and we know enough to know that there's possibly something outside of that. So all we know is that it's not what we can do.
Look, I'm right
would be
that there are
property.
certain propositions that are not that are going to be hard to epistemically justify. But I have you and I presumably have principled criteria for that. Okay, Like you tried to give me a criteria. Let's say you succeeded. It doesn't matter. The point is that you tried. You said anything that's outside of space and time might be unknowable. Well, you just gave me criteria. That's what I was asking from him. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just based on our imagination, then.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well, I've heard what I'm reaching for is that I've heard things about God and Christianity a long time ago when I was reading about theology when I was like a teenager, and there was somebody making the case that God was unknowable, not something we can comprehend, that it was outside of ourselves.
But you understand the problem with that. Take the alien example. They have a concept of God. There's something that has to be known about the concept for you to.
They have an imagination.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, okay. Let me add this now. The person that was making this argument was trying to, in a way, remove God and make him one with what the world is, what the universe is. That we can't know the whole universe, basically, and that if we were to know God entirely, we would have to be God and know the whole universe.
Yeah, that's a can of worms. I don't know. You want to go in that direction or no?
I kind of feel that is the bridge between naturalism and theism. That's where they can meet. I mean, if you drop all of the bullshit that you think you know about God, okay, and you just put it out there as being everything that was created, everything there is, right? Then you end up with the same thing as the cosmos. There's no difference, and that is the bridge. So if you drop everything you think you know about God, and you start to understand that you don't know, the totality of things, right? Like to know the totality of the universe, for you to comprehend all of the cosmos, the Big Bang, you would understand how it happened. You'd understand what kind of geometry was outside of the universe, everything. Then you would almost have to be the universe in order to know that, right?
Well, I don't know if I agree there, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's what I consider the bridge between naturalism and theism, is when you drop what you think you know about God and you become humble, like very humble in what you know about God, and you quit making claims about God, then you become, in a sense, an atheist, which is really interesting.
I think I agree with that. I mean, but that just means that you've lost the concept, right?
Yeah.
You've lost the original concept.
Yeah, and you become humbled in what you know, and you only know what's what you can acquire around you, and you give up on knowing the truth, that sort of thing. And in that way,
I don't know about all that, but I was with you in the first part.
Okay.
It's not that you lose a concept, it's that you understand the difference between what humans have written down and made up versus what we observed and tested and stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't make much sense to me.
Well, it's almost like a bouncy chamber where you go out there and you try to acquire this greater knowledge, and you come back to the point where you have to give up on that, and you're slammed back into what you know now. What the fuck? A little Orphan Black. Oh, hang on. I gotta bounce out for a minute.
Well, what I was trying to say, like, our imagination could be different from what actual reality, but it's a mixture of all the things that we observe, and because our brains can only know what our senses work, but then it can be messed up, but then you're observing what your brain has signals and stuff, in a sense, and then trying to comprehend it in a language.
It's either
which is imagination.
It's either a coincidence that you're saying all of this, or that you listen to too much T-Jump.
No, I don't listen to any of that.
Well, he takes your kind
my
of
own. It's just now naturally understanding how the brain functions and stuff through lots of experiences of what people actually do in real life, of testing and stuff, and you just kind of understand things a little bit better. The more experience that you have with something, the better you have to understand them. That's hard to
Yeah,
explain
I'm
for
not
me.
really a strict verificationist. I think that's incoherent.
It's not just one person; it's multiple people too that collab to figure this stuff out. Or it don't have to be collabed. It's actually independent sometimes too.
Yeah. I'm not a strict verificationist.
What? What's
I'm
happening?
not strict
What does
exactly
that mean,
either.
Danny?
The most
What does that
majority is,
mean?
I mean, most likeliness of things.
What does what mean, Nathan? Did Nathan ask a question?
Yeah, when you say you're not a strict verificationist, what does that mean?
It means that like knowledge has come by through verifying a particular proposition empirically. So
Oh, okay.
That's something from Jerry
Yes.
here in.
That's why we go by most likeliness of things.
I do have that clip, and this is the clip. I do have that video of me secretly recording Darth, and it's actually it's really boring. But if y'all want to play it, we can.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
It's not even that great. This is y'all will know what I secretly recorded.
Okay, that's why he's calling you a horrible person because
Yeah, y'all want to see? This is ridiculous, man.
Sure.
Darth just was avoiding conversation with me. I think that's the more likely case. Let me find this 1 second.
That's kind of funny. I was actually going to bring that up, but I was on a different avenue with like Ontangelo. Of course, we all know Ontangelo has latched onto Darth.
Yep.
So I was actually going to ask you what you thought. Like, I don't know. Did anybody see Ontangelo's conversation with Jefferson Spatchcock the other day?
No.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was really good. They were good. They actually decided to go over the debate with Darth and Randolph. So that was what they were working with, and they were basically talking about the argument. You know what Darth's argument consists of, and all that. And I'll tell you, you listen to Jefferson. He's, in my opinion, he's brilliant. I like the way he approaches it, because given the fact that Jefferson's a pretty smart guy, and he's theologically he's very apt. Okay, right? He knows that aspect of it very, very well. He knows the Bible very, very well. And just the way he comes into that, or the way he approaches that argument of Darth's, I thought it was really good. So if you really listen to him, and they're supposed to do another one, so I was gonna ask Danny if he saw that and what he thought of that. Maybe that would be
I didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I think yeah. There's a video that ruined. Well, it was already kind of becoming ruined, but that basically Darth is citing when I secretly recorded him. It's in private chat speed.
Oh, it's in private chat. It's a YouTube thing?
Wait, can you? Oh, maybe I got the wrong link. 1 second.
Yeah, something's wrong with that link. I couldn't play it. But Otangelo, he started, like, in his Facebook post now, he's been putting a lot of God stuff now instead of evolution,
Yeah, I don't know what's better is I guess I prefer design arguments to precept. I hope he doesn't become a precept.
Well, that's what he's trying to do, basically.
Oh no, that's a dark turn for an apologist for me.
Yeah. Yep. So okay.
When everything else fails, precept.
So this is the part that Darth was mad at you because
I recorded.
Okay. Darth bans Danny. Sure. Okay. I'll roll it. It's only 3 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Then Jack is operating from
You guys hear it?
an ultimacy
Yeah.
that is not God, an impersonal absolute. There's no two ways around it. Either you're operating from a personal absolute or an impersonal absolute. All right? Are you following me?
I mean, I understand that the object. I mean,
No, Danny, there's no way of escaping this. Everybody is going to be reasoning consciously or unconsciously from some absolute. Do you understand?
I know.
How could you?
Do you accept that dichotomy, the personal and non-personal, impersonal absolute?
I wanted to ask the same thing.
The question, okay, whether it's the dichotomy of whether everyone reasoned, I think it might be incoherent. It's like asking, there's a dichotomy between there being a square triangle versus not a square triangle. I think it might be something like that.
Or it seems like asking whether you eat just grapefruit or you eat not grapefruit. I don't know. It seems.
Yeah, I mean, then it would just be not grapefruit. It's either going to be a pretty easy response, or the hardest thing is whether to understand what it even meant by absolute there and all his terms.
And what he means by personal.
Right, all of that. I mean, I think that if it's coherent, it's obviously going to be that what explains actuality is non-personal. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
And he's also changed that now, and now he uses ultimate, right? So he's basically just changed from absolute to ultimate. Well, he uses absolute too, but right?
Yeah.
So isn't it kind of the same thing?
Probably.
My way up.
Okay. Well, we'll play it.
How you know my routine? What do you mean routine, Danny?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about? I know
Right.
you're arguing.
Danny, everybody has to operate from some absolute, or how else do your statements of dependency mean anything?
What the fuck?
Okay. When we make statements, when we make predications, we're either invoking that which is dependent or that which is non-dependent, right?
Darth, why do you want to have this conversation with me so bad?
No, I'm trying to explain to you why Jack is a 2-bit sophist, and why you shouldn't even be listening to him. Okay.
So, Doctor, I would
hold on, Brojo.
He's talking about Ulstrike or
Jack Angstrike, yeah.
or Angstrike, yeah.
Danny, don't you understand that whenever somebody speaks, right? If I say the ice cream cone tastes good, that's a statement of dependency, right?
I just don't understand why you want to. Why do you insist having this conversation with me?
I'm trying to explain to you why you going to him is a bad thing, because his reasoning is completely convoluted, even though he sounds sophisticated. So when someone will either be reasoning if with you, either they'll be reasoning from a personal absolute God or an impersonal absolute. There is no escaping it, right? What else could somebody be reasoning from, Danny?
So suppose I disagree with you. I understand what you do to people when they disagree.
What is there, Danny? If I said to you, either something exists or nothing exists, what would be there to disagree with on?
Yeah, if I were to say nothing exists, then you would just label me as a troll, and then it would be the end of it, right?
What I'm saying, no, Danny, either something exists or nothing exists. Is there a third alternative?
No, I mean, I accept the law of excluded middle, but
okay, good. So when somebody speaks, we will either be speaking directly of or from something that is absolute in existence. Right?
I don't understand why you want to talk to me, Darth.
I'm trying to explain to you why. What is this reluctance? Like I'm giving you a third degree. I'm trying to explain something to you.
I suppose I'm not interested.
All right. Then why are you here?
Well, I saw you in here. I'm not interested in the conversation. I might be interested in.
Wow. Okay.
And that is why I'm a scumbag, ladies and gentlemen.
No, yeah, that's it. That was really damning to him. You know what the fuck? Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to you for other reasons.
That was when I was a Christian.
Yeah. Oh, really? Wow.
The thing is, when he goes, when you make a statement, it's either an absolute statement or a personal absolute statement. That's kind of what he said, right?
Yeah, and I don't understand
And
why
when you make a statement like this ice cream is good, then that's a statement of dependence. No, it's a statement that ice cream tastes good. Now it depends on you having tasted the ice cream at some point in time. Is that what he means by dependent?
That it's, I think he might mean contingent, but look, we're all kind of confused as to what he means. And anytime you ask,
but from you, contingent means it could either be a true or false statement, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So,
did you see what I did there? Did you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Okay. You know.
Yeah. So that's why dependency means like explained, perhaps, or dependence relation means that there's something else that's implied. But I don't see. I mean, I no one really knows what Darth is really saying when he's like.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, and I really mean that. Yeah, I know the words you're saying, but in terms of relating to reality, they don't. So
he's trying to say that either you reason from you have to reason from some absolute ground, and it's either impersonal or personal, and so he's loading the whole thing up and claiming that your impersonal can't possibly be a ground, so you have to go with this personal. So he believes that if he says ice cream is good, somehow that relates to God. Is that kind of what he's saying? I mean, you have to base everything you say and reason about or claim as being of this personal absolute. So you would have to relate your like of ice cream back to God? Is that what he's saying? Danny? Danny doesn't know what the fuck.
Sorry, I was typing in the chat.
Okay.
I don't know what he's saying. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't.
Right.
Sorry, I don't. I mean, like, he doesn't clarify his terms, and the reason why he doesn't is that there's just going to be a big problem if it's going to be a big problem.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know.
I think like the most charitable. Let's say Darth was like a good person, and let's say that he was like honest and had all the virtues and whatever. The most charitable understanding is of his argument is it's actually a contingency argument, that contingent facts depend on a necessary fact. That's basically what it seems like to me, but it's just like all jargon laced.
So necessary means it can never be false, correct?
Yeah, something that's necessarily true can't be false, right?
Okay. So every statement that could either be true or false depends on statements that can never be false.
Right. That's the contingency argument. The idea is that they assume something called the PSR, which is the idea that contingent facts need to be explained. But but a person that is replying or rebutting a contingency argument just denies the PSR and says, look, there are just statements that are true and there are statements that are false. And there's no further explanation for why they're true or false. They call those brute contingencies.
Okay, we got a Darth fan in chat here. Kafai doesn't realize what Darth is saying because he's unfamiliar with the absolute as it is understood within philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, the term absolute in philosophy is like largely a continental term. It's like Hegel and like all of them. I don't really use the term. I rarely see the term except maybe in moral philosophy when they're describing like moral principles. But like basically it becomes a synonym for necessary. So, yeah. If they're not saying absolute to be something necessary, then I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, okay, the grown to being. Okay, so what is the grown? I mean, how do you interpret this grown to being thing?
Turn that into an adjective because he was using it as an adjective. wasn't he?
The absolute.
The
Was he?
absolute statement. So that's an adjective, right? So how do you say grounded being in an adjectival form?
I think that they would say that like a statement, there's a grounding or a statement is grounded, because grounding is a philosophical notion. So they're not pulling, if Kafai is appealing to grounding, that there is a history to the notion of grounding. I just think it's incoherent. Like, for instance, people think they need to ground their morals, and when they say that, they're not really saying that we need to identify our morals. Like, the idea is that there's some like ontological appeal for something else in order to like establish these moral truths, right? So it's not, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't really understand. I don't know how to make sense of the notion of grounding, but people appeal to that. Like, that's a real thing in philosophy. So it's not.
Yeah,
like,
and then you have this absolute grounding of morality in the objective God, right? And then somehow out of that absolute has to come this command through biblical scripture that explains to you what that morality is, right? So I mean, how in the hell do they hash that out, where you have this absolute thing that has morality built into it, and somehow it has to tell you about it through words? I guess that might make sense, but I don't know. It just seems good. But okay, Kafai says that logic is contingent upon God. I'd say logic is contingent upon the structure of the universe within the cosmos. And I always try to expand or abstract away from into the possibility that there is some other kind of logic or some other kind of metaphysic that would support something where, you know, the excluded middle didn't work or something like that. But logic is contingent upon the structure of the universe. I would agree with that. And I would call the structure of the universe.
Oh, that's weird. That's very strange.
It is strange.
But I mean, I'm not gonna. I hear that stuff a lot, but it seems like then that's like an example of grounding, right? And there are a lot of people that think that. There are a lot of people that use this metaphysical notion of grounding. I just reject it. I can't make sense of it.
Okay.
But
can't make the reason for is that, you know, we're embedded in the universe, so we are a part of the universe, and we are something that has a relationship to time and space around us and material. So basically, everything we know about logic and everything we know about how the universe works is going to be grounded in our relationship to that universe, right? And if the universe works in such a way that I cannot put my cup into my cat's head and have the two occupy the same space, then from that I'm going to derive a sort of a logic, right? Two things can't be in the same place at the same time, that sort of thing. So that's kind of how I think about that.
I'll tell you what, I'll look more into it because it's been a while. But the last time I looked into it, the last time I talked about it with my philosophy friends, we just kind of came to the conclusion that it's just kind of problematic. But I am not prepared to give you. Maybe I can give you the strongest form of grounding that I know of. I think, like I said, the most often that I hear grounding is in terms of morality.
Yeah.
Okay? And so,
I don't think that's possible.
And the second thing that I hear is also that logic kind of permeates in the universe, that there's a kind of permeation, you know, but the thing about grounding is that you got to differentiate it from other things. You got to differentiate it from identity, right? You got to differentiate it from cause effect. So you got to, so that's the task, right? Like, how do we understand this notion of dependence without appealing to cause and effect, and without appealing to what do you call it? Identity. But there is a real notion of dependence. Like, it might be that color depends on surface, right? Or that my belief depends on a self or something like that, right? That might be like metaphysically, there's like those sorts of relations. But I think they want to further say that there's a difference there. Like, they're not saying that either. But I have to look into it. I have to go home, but I'll probably come back in a few minutes.
Okay.
I'm at work.
Okay.
So.
I have a question. Can't you ground everything in reality? Isn't that the absolute ground? Reality itself?
There we go.
Like
That's it.
that's
Oh,
to me, that's the all these arguments, that's the way I look at it is
That's just an identity
reality
relation.
is the absolute.
Yeah, but that's just
I'm
an identity
sorry, say-
relation. Yeah, that's not a grounding relation.
I
That's
don't know
an
what you
identity.
mean by that. What do you
So,
what
so
do
like
you mean?
if I
Say
said,
that again.
yeah, I think that they want to say that it's not identity because you could say that which is true is that which is real. That's identity. Okay. So what I mean by X is true
Right.
is that it's real.
I
Okay.
understand that.
That's yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But then that
Yeah.
one is saying something else. They said that no. Grounding is something different.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I kind of get that, I guess.
Okay. Kafai keeps offering this bullshit about Sky Daddy. And the truth of the matter is that Praise and all those guys do believe in the Sky Daddy. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Kafai.
Well,
Because
that's praise. They obviously don't believe that. I gotta.
Okay.
I think you ever hear the word I don't want to say doxological. Remember singing in church the doxology. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, all creatures here below.
They call that the doxology?
Well, that's this segment of a worship service where you praise God, and just say wonderful good things about him using multiple syllable language or high and lofty language because he's oh so good and oh so holy. Well, I think that's what grounds the objection to words like Sky Daddy, because it's not doxological enough to refer to God.
Okay.
And say something like absolute. I think it's just doxological language, or omnipotent or omniscient. That's just doxological language. You're trying to butter up God.
So Kafai, okay. For mystics, theologians, there's a lot of theologians that believe in the fatherly aspect of God and the fatherly aspect of, if they're Christians, then they believe in a Sky Daddy. I'm sorry. So if you're not talking about Christians, then specify that. But what we're talking about most of the time on this channel is Christians. So don't give us this shit that it's not a Sky Daddy. It's just that it's not doxological. So that is a liturgical formula of praise to God. After the singing of the doxology, the congregation separated. So they're like praising God, but they would never call him a Sky Daddy because that reduces them to that reduces him pretty much to what they think, but they don't want to think they think that. They don't want to believe that they've come up with an anthropomorphic idea of God as their father spanking them. And when you think about it, the fucking Bible is all about God spanking, right? Isn't it? I mean, going to hell, burning in a lake of fire.
Israel. Yes, he did spank. He did spank not Sarah, but Lot's wife. So
literally.
No, by turning her into a pillar of salt. I don't believe that literally happened, but it's an example of God spanking people. Oh, and he killed Ananias and Sapphira in the book of Acts for lying about their offering.
Cafe is too difficult to figure out, right? I mean, he's just so difficult. He doesn't reduce things down and not like, Cafe. He's just so you can't figure out his way of thinking, I guess, or at least I can anyway.
Dude, I have some.
I'm probably going to get nailed for this copyright. Everybody should listen to this song when you think about God spanking people and turning Lot's wife into a pillar of salt. I'll put it in chat. Anyway.
Well, I have something for a second, a couple seconds. The Futurama ending of this scene.
Oh, will I get nailed for this?
Oops.
Well,
it's just a few seconds.
Things don't exist simply because you believe in them. Thus saith the almighty creature in the sky.
Yeah, and Kafai is he's always like charging that atheists are saying Sky Daddy. Well, they literally fucking believe in the Sky Daddy. I'm sorry.
However, to say you have to mean our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Yeah, our Father in heaven. What the fuck? That is.
But if we say Sky Daddy, that's not logical enough.
Yeah, and that makes us atheists just really dumb, Kafai, because we're referring to what 99% of the fucking religious population believes in. Anyway, Paul Tillich.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I liked reading Paul Tillich when I was younger. I found his stuff kind of impersonal. Like the ground of being wasn't your.
Yeah, he was an atheist.
Paul Tillich, was he an atheist? I don't know.
Well, he didn't identify himself as an atheist because he doesn't understand my bridge. This bridge to naturalism where you lose all concept of God. And when you lose all concept of God, what you're left with is reality, which is the fucking cosmos. There cannot possibly be anything else. Okay? And Kafai is like, he believes that he's contacted something else somehow through mushrooms beyond the everything. Well, Kafai, when you took mushrooms, you may have contacted what is outside of the universe, which is the fucking greater cosmos. And how do you know that you haven't? I don't know.
Now, there is one book of his that he wrote having to do with culture. I don't remember the title. I could Google it a little bit later, but it was really had a lot of good insight because I think it was him who said, if you're having to explain a symbol, like a cultural symbol to somebody, then that cultural symbol has already died and been emptied of its meaning. And I thought about that and thought about that. I said, you're right. Because, symbols are powerful. They do reach a deep part of us. We all share in them and its meaning to some degree or another. And if you do have to end up, writing articles and articles and articles or sermons and sermons about how wonderful that symbol is, then it may be that it's already lost its meaning and you should just move on. But
yeah, and that I think
systematic theology, it was just hard to relate to.
I think maybe in the Bible, this thing about false idols as God, and Ellen Watts fleshed that out as basically naming God or thinking that you know God. And if you think that you know God, then it's automatically a false idol. That if you have a symbol that points to God, or you have some concept that points to God, then you've already completely missed the fucking point, right?
Yeah,
and there's a commandment.
The idea of confusing the thing, the sign or the symbol.
Finger with the moon. Finger with the moon. Yeah. Yeah. So
false prophets.
Yeah. So that was an interesting commandment, not to use false idols. So it was almost like God damn COVID. It was almost like some of those Christians that wrote the Bible or wrote in the Bible understood that problem, of coming up with an idea of God that you should just have faith. You just have clear faith with no belief and no encumbrance of conceptualizing God, which is the same
effect.
It's the same as naturalism, though. I mean, all you have to do to live your life today, you could live your entire life today without thinking at all. You could just eat food and taste the food, and you could, if you're good at meditating, you can completely shut off this rational cognitive stream of consciousness that we run with words and all of that, and you could just keep rejecting all that. And that would be, God damn it.
Sound like your Buddhist philosophies.
Exactly, yeah. It's basically the empty mind. Zen Buddhism is the empty mind. You completely empty it. And the charge I have against Kafai is he thinks with his mushrooms that he has found something that he can put in his mind, and that's just another fucking false idol. Whatever he thinks he contacted, yeah. He's just gone one level up from Sky Daddy and believes in another thing that he can't coherently tell us about. But he
Almost
believes
like,
in. Okay.
Sorry. It's almost like putting a magnet to a computer. It changes how it does its the processing and stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Kind of
it
fucking
messes up how you process things. So when you're introducing chemicals that change or block the signals and stuff, or
How the fuck do
other things.
How the fuck does Kafai know what the earliest concepts of God were? How do you know?
My question to Kafai is, how often does he take mushrooms and have these experiences? Or
Once a year.
often? Is that what he does? Yeah.
I'm not sure what monistic is, other than having to do with oneness, but I thought they were animistic, those earliest concepts of God. They were animistic, and then some sort of hybrid of human and animal forms, and they were always polytheistic. And by panentheistic, maybe, but that's not what that means.
Well, yeah, things that they didn't understand, like when it started to storm and thunder or there was a tornado. I mean, it seems like the likely thing for early man was to conceptualize that as being an agency, right? As having agency. Because something is doing this thing that doesn't ordinarily happen. And it would be like, okay, if there's a big lightning storm, it would be the equivalent of their tribal leader getting really pissed off and throwing fire at them, you know?
They thought that fire, water, air, earth, and all that was an element too. So people.
Theism, that's a new word for me. Greek one god is a term coined by Max Muller to mean devotion to a single primary god while accepting the existence or possible existence of other deities. Muller stated that henotheism means monotheism in principle and polytheism in fact. Interesting. And that is henotheism, basically. Henotheism or something. Henotheism?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, there are multiple gods, but we're only going to worship this one.
Okay.
And then, there's another term that means essentially the same thing, but I can't think of it right now.
Let's see what Nestluk said here. Look up animism, which seems pretty common throughout all cultures. At least that's how they started. So that'll be the next thing we get a link for here. Yeah, animism seems like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like the Great Bear.
I think Danny's referring to panentheism. Everything's of one substance. Is that correct, or is it monism?
I think that's that might be panentheism. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
Do not text this stuff if you're in your car, Danny. Even if you're at a traffic light.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you could get killed, and then
we don't want. It's not worth it to your health.
Oh, animism, breath, spirit, life. So the belief that objects, places, and creatures all possess a distinct spiritual essence, which I wouldn't disagree with, but I would not call it life or breath or whatever. I don't know.
I have a video. I got a link into the public about the electrical blueprints that orchestrate life with Michael Levin.
Ooh. You put it in public?
Yep.
Why am I not spotting it yet?
It's from TED Talk.
Yeah. So I wanted to look
TED
at
Talk.
Paul Tillich. God is a grounded being. Paul Tillich was critical of the view of God as a type of being or presence, right? He felt that if God was a being, God cannot then properly be called the source of all being, due to the question of what in turn created God. Okay, so
however, God is being itself, so that takes away that.
Right.
distinction.
Yeah, and that would be a good conception of God. I could, go along with that because that's just what everything is, the universe, cosmos, and we are a part of the cosmos. He felt that since one cannot deny that there's being where we in our world exist, there is therefore a power of being. He saw God as the ground, and the power of being is obviously the cosmos. I don't care how you hash that out. It's obviously the fucking cosmos. As such,
Nature
God
and-
precedes being itself, and God is manifested in the structure of beings. He's an atheist, but Tillich saw the root of atheism as rejection of the traditional image of God. He's correct. You wouldn't be an atheist if there were never any theists, right?
Yeah.
If you had nobody to disagree with. You're just saying you disagree with those people that believe in theism. So in atheism, for us, we're not really atheists. We just adhere to atheism because we disagree with all the theists.
Uh-huh. That's why it's better to be a rational human being than claim label for me.
Right. There you go. A
Or try to
naturalist.
be.
A naturalist. I don't know. Well, yeah, that's a label, isn't it? But that just says ground of all beingist. I'm a ground of all beingist. And if you can tell me how being is somehow personal, fucking go for it and explain it to me because I don't see it. I don't know. The ground of all being is impersonal is how I would answer Darth Dawkins.
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of sucked that Danny left. We had a good conversation going there.
Well, he said he might come back in after he gets home. He had to leave work and get to his house.
Yep, we got 45 minutes left, and then I'm supposed to have a conversation with Leo and Immutable, and I don't know if I had the bandwidth for it, or if Leo is going to show up.
Have you had your coffee?
I'm having coffee, but I burn out after 1 hour of thinking, and then I have to sleep, and then I take another hour of thinking, and I'm working on ribosomes.
Do we need to send somebody over
Yeah, I
there
never
to
thought
put
I'd.
a needle in your heart, like on Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, that would help.
That might work.
Yep. Yeah, I fell asleep in my chair, and I had sleep paralysis while I was taking a nap in my recliner, which is really odd for me. So I must have went really into a deep sleep.
Yeah, I never thought I would speak those words. That it kind of sucked that Danny left. You go. I mean, really. I mean, honestly, right? You go back. You go back 3 or 4 weeks, right? I mean, it was just a shit fest every time he came in, and it was, just I don't know, and it was just tough to deal with them. But on other times you can have great conversations, and like what we were just having, So I don't know, it's tough.
When he's willing to engage and listen to you and conjecture, and when he says, I'm not sure, I have to think about it, that's when that's the good Danny. Then there's the bad Danny. There's the good Danny and the bad Danny.
Right.
And,
when he wants to argue, when he's in the mood to attack and use his arguments with whatever you say. And it's almost like he's like just testing himself, I guess, maybe.
What is Haggard?
I don't know.
What is getting haggard? I don't know what that is. Brain bug. Did I get hagged? Hagged. Brain bug. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Maybe he wants to know if you got haggis. Did you get some haggis?
I don't know. Maybe hagged. I don't know. Is hagged a word? Is that something that fucking spiders do? Do they hag you?
Or what about Venus flytraps? Do they hag you?
Yeah. I'm going to put my finger in my Venus flytraps, a little trap, and see what happens. I think he'll try. They actually try. Yeah, he's going to try to eat it, and then the trap will fall off.
No, but getting back to Danny, I really appreciate when he comes on sometimes because he does at times make me stroke my beard and go,
yeah.
Or want to ask more questions. So that's always a good thing.
That is a good thing. Danny's a good thing. Yeah, we just had to train him a little bit to be more polite with us, I think. I don't know. He don't like that, though. He's going to get pissed off at that.
Most of the time, I'm not smart enough to follow along with him. I think I don't.
Yeah,
that's probably half my problem.
Oh, that's going to piss Speed off. Oh, that just pissed Speed off.
Yeah.
Oh, listen.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think Danny and I are probably more alike than we want to admit, as far as being contrarian. You know,
See that? Well, I don't know. I'll just use my new superpowers.
what are you gonna do? Remove me?
Well, maybe I should. Do you think I should?
Oh,
What have you
maybe
done? I
maybe
just want
you.
to throw that.
Oh, sleep paralysis and get a visitor? Hagged, really?
Yeah.
Actually,
been-
I had sleep. I think I dreamed I had sleep paralysis. I was dreaming about having sleep paralysis and trying to wake up because I was in some situation where I had to wake up. I was like,
I have had that same dream, and there was a shadowy visitor at my window.
really?
It was scary,
Ooh,
but not terrifying. It was just
yeah.
odd, like something odd or scary happens in a dream, but you don't react. You just go, "Oh, that was kind of scary." But
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was really sleep paralysis or if I dreamt I had sleep paralysis because it didn't take the same energy for me to wake up from the dream that it
no,
normally takes.
usually when I've dreamed I've had sleep paralysis, I really did, because there was a point in time where I wanted to wake up and tried and I couldn't.
Yeah, that's a real bitch because I always get this thought: if I don't wake up, I'm going to die. That is a bad thought to have when you have sleep paralysis, because that will scare the fuck out of you. And then I used to try to move my finger or something or make noises until my ex would wake me up. But when you're alone, you don't have that option, so you just have to keep working on it until you wake up. It's really a fucker.
Or just relax and wait until it wears off.
I'm afraid to die. I'm afraid if I do that, I'll die.
I guess at your age, it might stop your breathing. But
Yeah. I'm not interested in dying just yet. But at least not while I'm fucking sleeping. I want to die while I'm listening to fucking super fucking thundering alternative music and driving 90 miles an hour in my car. That's what I want. Of course, that might be bad for other people, but if I don't know. It's just the way I want to go out, is listening to super loud alternative, like fucking Jane's Addiction or something like that. That's what I was doing the other day, trying to kill myself. I was manic. I looked at my speedometer. I was going fucking 90 and 65. And I thought, oh boy, you're manic.
I was kind of hoping that we could have come up with something juicy with Maddox. I don't know if you saw, Speed, he was on with Danny yesterday or last night, I believe, for a little bit. I think, was it on Praises? I think it was on Praises last night. And they had I listened, like, it was another one of Praises, really long streams. I tried to look through it to see if there was anything interesting. When they're so long, it's so difficult to find anything. It didn't seem like. I tried to listen, I listened to a double speed to try to, is there anything even worth discussing, or, and they were on together, Danny and Maddox.
Was that at the beginning of the stream or at the end?
Yeah, I like I said, I didn't timestamp anything. Like, I didn't really find anything, so I didn't. Oh,
it must have been at the beginning.
I was gonna. I was actually, and I was gonna try to find the time today to try to maybe search through it to see if there was anything interesting to talk about. If you didn't have anything going on, today, and
yeah, it's the beginning.
Yeah, and I couldn't really find anything there. It was they didn't get into any debate or anything like that, which is shocking, but especially when it comes to Maddox. But what's up with him, right?
Penny Penis comes on at 9:54 on Praise's stream, and
yeah.
And then he's on until he's not on that long.
Right. It wasn't. Yeah. And I did try to go through it, and I didn't really find anything. I mean, John, I swear he's getting worse. Like, I don't know, just in the past week or something, all of a sudden, or past couple of weeks maybe.
So is
really
SFT
stupid.
Yes,
Like, just-
SFT is doing the same shit. He's sounding dumber and dumber.
Yeah,
And-
like
and
what the hell?
older.
They're like doubling
They must-
down on their wrongitude.
Double
Yeah,
down.
I don't know what the hell's going on with them, but
Yeah.
something seems to have changed in the past couple of weeks. And I mean, John, like I said, he had that little short conversation. I listened to it, and he just sounds dumb, but dumber than usual. Like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. I mean, he didn't really say anything interesting, but that I could see. But you know, I don't know.
So okay, so this is already in chat, Paul Tillage.
And I wished I had the time to go through that. I think there was a little bit of an interesting back and forth with Danny, with that other guy that Danny was talking about, Gould, or what was his name? I've
Gould,
heard him before. Like, yeah, I've heard him before.
What's that? Scott?
You talking about the guy that Darth was telling him not to listen to?
No,
Okay, I'm
no,
sorry.
this was yesterday on Praise's channel. I think Danny had a good back and forth with that guy. Like, remember Danny was talking about it when he first came in today. He was saying that he was, talking about that guy, and they had some disagreements. He called him dishonest. I think that was yesterday, but I like I said, I didn't get a chance to go through that. I didn't get a chance to go through it at all, so I don't know.
Danny gave us a timestamp, and I lost it. He said
Right.
He said it was right at 4. Well, where he called him dishonest was at 4 something. That's where he was.
Okay, yeah, it could be, but like I said, I didn't go through it. I didn't have the time today to go through it to see if there was anything good in there. And I also heard people talking about it too, actually. What the hell else? Yeah, I thought somebody else brought it up, or maybe it was brought up later in the stream or something. I don't know, but yeah. And you know who else is getting a little bit of attention is Olgatha. Like, he seems to be getting a little attention from a lot of people.
And
it's kind of like making its
Moyna.
rounds.
Emery Moyna is another one that's always on Praise's stream now and barking bullshit.
Yeah, he's bad too. Yeah, he's he's on Sal's a lot. Him and Sal are buddies, right?
Not lately.
Him and Sal are buddies, and him and LPP, and his I don't know if it's his fundamentalism / conspiracy theorism / paranoia, but it makes him read things weird. And like that time he went on a rant about Navy people having to take a pledge to support LGBTQ issues or something.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
He just went off the handle about that, when it was basically a pledge that a task force that was created to look at LGBTQ issues and other issues.
Yeah,
they had to take that pledge because it's a task force that deals with that. So, so it's just no reading comprehension because they don't want to see what's up.
Well, his whole thing is separating the goats from the sheep. So he calls goats people that people in Christianity, like the pastors that are saying, that are allowing for LGBTQ, the community. And those are called goats, and he's trying to get rid of the goats. So it's this whole fucking fundamentalist thing to push out anybody that has any socially liberal attitude, right, in the church. And they consider that a real poison in the church. They hate them guys. They hate those pastors more than they hate us atheists.
And of course, they always take the position, we're young enough that in our day and age, in our lifetime, they're going to come for us.
Yeah. And he thinks that he says he won't use his real name. Emery Moyna is apparently made up because he's in a master's program in some university, or I think he's in a master's. They will throw him out if they find out that he's a fundamentalist. But I'm guessing that he's vocal enough that they all already know it.
Yeah, he seems like the type of guy that he just can't help himself. A typical Christian, right? They can't help themselves but to preach, right? Or so,
Right.
yeah, I've only heard him, listen to him a little bit, caught him on a couple of different streams, so I don't really know that much about it. A little bit, I've, caught a little bit recently, so I know a little more about him. But yeah, I can't imagine him being able to control himself. So they, like you said, they must know for sure.
So have you guys seen the Dapper Dinos tier list? For
Yeah.
the creationists?
Yeah, we were talking
YouTube
about it.
creationists?
Yeah.
Scott was talking about it.
Yeah, that was very entertaining, and it was interesting to see where they put people. Who did they give the highest?
Sal. They gave it to Sal.
Well,
and
no, he wasn't the highest, but he was
No.
high up there.
What do you mean
but
high?
didn't
Like, what metric are we talking about? The best creationist?
Well, engagement, arguments. That they had
Are you
a set of
sure?
categories that they rated them in.
Yeah, but are you sure? Because Sal was actually commenting that he is considered the number one. Sal actually made a comment about it.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, maybe,
I think
maybe he was. I thought they put somebody up above him, but I could be remembering wrong for sure.
Cell
Yeah.
should be down on the bottom.
Yeah, no,
Is he
I
really
didn't
as
get a
bad
chance
as
to
Roman?
watch it. I actually didn't get a chance to watch it. I saw it. I clicked on it, but I just didn't have the time. But I believe Sal is at the top, and he actually commented that he thought it was an honor because somebody asked Sal in chat, what do you think about the Dapper Dinos, tier list? Whether he thought it was good or bad that you're at the number one position. And Sal said, well, I think it's great. I'm considered the best, the number one creationist on YouTube.
So that tells Cell that his idea and campaign of indoctrination is working.
Exactly. That's exactly the way he was saying it. Yep.
He is slimy.
He is lovable. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Notice the total amplification of the significance of that tier list. He thinks because 4 or 5 people got together to talk about it and make a tier list, that means he's the best one on all of YouTube. When it could be that there's a network of atheists / creationists out there somewhere that we're not part of and unaware of that could be even better.
So,
And only half the list was only got.
we're not done
yet. The alphabet.
And do you know why I think the reason why he made the top of the list is because he's the slimiest. If I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think that's why he made the top of the list.
no,
I mean,
what was their criteria?
It's how they like them more. What the arguments.
Is that how? Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I thought that was. Well, I know that was one of the criterias of it. And
Let's see if anybody answers here that knows. Can we all agree that Cell is better than Neff? No, I think Neff is a better guy than Cell, actually. I do not agree with you at all, Christopher. You just watch. You just watch this fucker. What he's doing. What he's really doing.
I mean, you could argue that Neff is just a drunk.
Nobody's going to
drunk.
Nobody's going to take Neff seriously, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you could argue that Neff is just a drunk, while Sal is more of a threat.
Yeah, and I think Neff essentially has a good heart. I don't know.
I mean,
he's just very confused. He's very confused.
Very confused.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say extremely confused.
One of the things he's confused about is his own intelligence and significance.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's what my mom told me when I was 6 years old.
And
Yeah,
I
she was
question his maturity too, right? I would question that. That's a little. So.
Yeah. So, God, there's a lot of shit I gotta watch, and that we don't have timestamps for, and so it would just be a mess if we tried to go over it. But
I know
Yeah.
that's the thing, and like I said, I didn't have the time. There's so much stuff. Like it's hard to find the time for it all.
Now, wait a minute. Neff is a race realist, but he believes that two people straight out of Africa with complete African genes or genome can have a white baby. Can have an Irish
remember,
baby.
after the flood, they cursed Ham, and then, according to a lot of fundamentalists, they went back down to Africa and Ethiopia and everything like that, and then Africa was where black people were from. So you could still be a racist and a consistent young Earth creationist flood geologist.
Interesting. I don't know what a race realist is, but
I'm not quite sure either. I've heard the term. It's a more common term now, but I've never seen a definition of it.
I don't know.
Other than the fact
I believe a race
races are real.
Yeah, I believe a race realist is someone who believes that races exist. I guess. I don't know.
Is it related to theology?
No, I don't think so.
Huh. I don't know.
There are things I don't know, and I did double check, and I was wrong. Sal is on the top, so I do apologize to anybody who is offended.
He is the king in this game. He's the king in this game.
Yep.
So what's going on with you, Midnight? You get around an awful lot. Don't you have any good news?
Not really.
No.
No. Still, still living alone.
Yeah.
It's been over 3 months since I moved in here. Other than that, nothing. No other news.
Yeah. No, but I mean in the community. I mean, you get around quite a bit in the community, right?
Yeah.
A lot of streams and stuff. No, I just didn't know if anything exciting happened.
No, not really.
Yeah. Nothing worth mentioning, I guess, right?
Before
I couldn't find anything. Yeah.
Before I take this screen down, this page where Paul Tillich's thing that Kafai linked to us. Okay, religious naturalism, taking nature to heart. So these guys, I do not disagree with these guys as far as religious naturalism goes. I sort of adhere to that. I don't think they're saying anything about, Sky Daddy gods at all. So it's an interesting site. I'm going to link it in the description.
Yeah, Tillich would never use that language.
What's that? Sky Daddy?
Sky Daddy. Yeah, that is it's a common atheist word used to point out a weakness in Christian theology, Christian belief.
Yeah. Yep. So I'll take that down, but that's probably a site worth checking out. I kind of like that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm a religious naturalist. I go out in the woods and commune with spirit. So that's just me. I'm a weird atheist.
You're a spiritual atheist. Those exist, no?
Okay, race realism. So
Hang on.
Can we discuss this?
Race realism is the idea that there are valid justifications for racism that are empirically demonstrable.
Okay, that's.
Did you say valid?
Yes, valid.
Oh wow,
that's funny. Yeah, that's
wow.
Weird. Yeah, we don't want any of that shit around here.
I mean, I'm not the one who brought it up.
But I've heard it described as believing that there are races at all. I mean, everybody believes there are races, right? Right?
Everybody believes that they're a cultural construct and not a biological construct.
Really? You believe they're not biological?
Hang on, what is he saying? I have to walk back and forth because I'm cooking. Okay, yeah, it's the same thing.
They're not biological, then how do they do this? How do they say multiracial, white woman, black man? How do they say that?
I mean, look. Here's the thing. There are differences between the races, but that's not justification for racism.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you know
that's
what I mean?
Like,
we fucking know
stereotypes.
that. You know, we know that. But I mean, they have these.
Yeah, but it seems like you can't really have the discussion of there being differences without being accused of being a racist.
Yeah.
Okay, I need somebody biologically competent to use the right words to say why the idea of race is cultural and not biological. I think whatever distinctions in phenotype, isn't race just like a matter of phenotypes?
Yeah. It'd be your genetic composition overall that would get you classified as one thing or another.
Yeah.
So
I
when
don't
they
know
ask you,
enough, I don't know enough to
well, every fucking state
express
form,
the positions.
every state form asks you that. They ask you that. They ask you whether you're white or whatever. I mean,
Caucasian.
you have to check a box, and it's like, okay, I don't know why they want to know that, but they always want to know that.
Well, that comes from a time where people did think races were a big thing, and that we didn't want brown people in control or to advance. And so to them, it really, really matters if you check a particular box.
Yeah, to be hard to, it's kind of like there's like red and yellow turning into orange. I mean, it's kind of hard to figure out by differences, but I mean, it doesn't mean that there isn't we can't identify red or yellow. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, I mean, we have different genes. We know that, and we're mixing really well, and hopefully in 40 years, it will be so mixed that we won't be able to tell, and there won't be boxes anymore. But
right.
But
our white nationalists, white supremacist people in our country have a word for that.
Okay, this is just bullshit. They're not cultural categories or social categories. They actually identify where you came from. I mean, we can identify where you came from. In fact, if you do 23andMe, they will give you a list of what your nationality is. So how do they do that from a genome if it's a social category?
It is a mystery.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
You know what else too I was kind of disappointed about was because remember Darth came on the channel the other day, and I thought for sure there would be him talking shit on, Supreme Leader for sure. And so I looked, I was looking for it. I figured that would have been kind of funny to.
Yeah, he didn't talk about it at all.
I know, I was shocked, but you know why? You know why none of that got any attention? Because it was all biblical. It was all about the Bible. And, for some reason, none of that is really a draw when it comes to Darth. It's all his philosophical crap that's a draw. So I think that's why. But I did look for it, and he did mention the channel. Oh, they're pieces of shit. He did say, like, just for 1 second, he said, oh, they're pieces of shit over there. Look at how I was treated. And that was it. That was pretty much it. He said about 2 sentences, and that was it.
Smart. He's pretty smart then. He wasn't going to tip his hat toward me. So, because I pissed him off that much when I said, what did I say? I care about Peter more than you, Darth. I thought that was so honest of me. Don't you think I was being very honest?
That was honest.
I'm honest. I'm biased, and I'm honest about it. So
that's right. You're honest about your prejudices, biases, and hopefully presuppositions.
Yeah. I mean, you notice that Darth very rarely gets into any biblical arguments. That's rare of him. And any time he does, it really doesn't draw any attention. None of it ends up on Tom Rabbits. None of it, he almost never talks about it. It's so it's kind of funny though, right? Here he is, he's a fundamentalist, but yet the Bible doesn't mean shit to him almost, kind of.
Yeah, the only thing that matters
talk about it.
The only thing that matters to him is arguing with people. But he did talk to us a little bit about the Bible when he was on the channel.
Yeah.
more than I'd ever heard him talk about before. So, because I asked him questions, I asked him to explain, because when it comes to the Bible, I'm almost like an alien in that I've never heard of half that shit. Because I really don't know and don't care about the Bible.
Yeah.
Except for what Alan Watts told me about the Bible, that part about not knowing God, that basically that was the same as Zen Buddhism, empty mind, that sort of thing. So Alan Watts made those connections. Like Alan Watts started out in the seminary, I think, and then he quit and moved to California and somehow became he got into Eastern religion, studies in Eastern religion, and then he somehow became everybody's guru.
Do you know what his Christian background was? Was he Catholic? Was he
Catholic?
Okay.
And he said if you're going to be a Christian, you should be a Catholic because they immerse themselves totally into the symbolism of Christianity. He said if you're a real Christian, you should be a Catholic. So because they take it like they really get into the symbolism of everything, and they take it very seriously. So he said if you're going to immerse yourself in a religion, you should do so seriously, which is kind of interesting. And that speaks to the Buddhist idea that whatever path you pick to spirit is the right path. You have to pick a path, that sort of thing. So, but he claims that Christianity is like the most intensely crazy game you can play with religion. If you want to play a religious game, you want to have a really exciting one, and the Catholics have the most exciting one. With the Pope and all that stuff, and the Pope is like the big the boss at the end of Mario.
You mean Bowser?
Yeah, okay, him. Yeah. Anyway, that's the Pope.
Well, I mean, yeah. Shouldn't you end this soon?
Yeah, so let's end this. This is dying anyway. Don't you think?
Ouch.
Yeah. Okay, guys,
Well,
we're gonna
hold on. I want to say the ending.
Go. You can say. Oh, you want to say? Oh, you can. Okay. So we're gonna end the broadcast now, boys and girls, and Midnight is going to take us out.
Goodbye, cruel world. I hardly knew ye.